So, welcome to my review, and it's a dual review this time. Yep. Of two indesit washer dryers. Now, the reason why I'm doing a dual review is because they're pretty much the exact same machine. Only one's a 6.6 kilogram wash plus 5 kilogram dry, and one's a 7 kilogram wash and 5 kilogram dry. So, I'm going to get into it. So, these machines both have the exact same drum, only one's a 6 kilo and this is a 7 kilo, and they both dry 5 kilo out in one go. So you can either wash and dry 5 kilo or just wash 7 kilo then dry 5 kilo separately. They also have the same programs too, but this one has a time display up here. So I'm going to show you all the programs that both of these have with this machine up here. So both machines have all their programs listed on the detergent drawer, with corresponding numbers on the control panel here. And when you turn it on, you might just have to wait a few seconds sometimes, but it comes on like so. Right, so we're going to start off with the number one program, which is white cotton at 90 degrees. Now, this machine has variable temperature. You can have 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, and cold options. Also, notice that on program 1, 60 and 40 are much longer. And this is because these are the standard economical programs relating to this machine for its energy performance as well as wash performance. We also have auto drying here. So, if you wish to not automatically dry after the wash cycle is completed, leave this dial at 0. But if you want to dry after the cycle is completed all in one go, you could load up 5 kilograms worth of laundry in the machine, select program 1, and then turn it to one of these. So, the first setting here is cupboard dry. This will completely dry your clothes to a completely dry level. You got hanger dry, which will leave ever so slight dampness that will simply just air out over time. And then we've got iron dry, where there's a little bit of dampness left within the clothes. Basically, the dryers are just damp dry, and then you take them out, you iron them, then hang them up, and they'll dry within 24 hours after being ironed. Then we've got actual timed programs, where you can either have 180 minutes, which is 3 hours, 100 minutes, which is 1 hour 40, 60 minutes, which of course is 1 hour, or 40 minutes, which is self-explanatory. But you've got to take into account that at the end of each cycle, the machine will do a 10 to 20 minute cool down depending on how long it's been on for. And also depending whether you're selecting cotton, which is high heat, or synthetics, which is low heat. Right, we have 2 options on here, but there's a further option on the lower one, which I'll show you slightly later on. We've got Eco Time, which is unavailable on program 1 anyway, so we'll switch it to program 2. We have Eco Time, which will allow you to wash about a half load roughly, using minimal water and saving a little bit on electricity. So on the 60 degree program, it will wash at around 50-ish degrees, and on the rinsers it will use a low water level. And then this option simply reduces the final spin speed from 1400 to 600 RPM. Also, if you use a dryer, it will knock it off, because of course you need to spin the clothes as much as possible when using the dryer. So what this is actually for, 14 to 600, is if you want to wash your clothes, then line dry them without that many creases, because the slower spin will reduce how much creasing is in your laundry. So it's ideal for more summertime, of course. Anyway, program 2 is cotton 60. It washes at 60, unlike the economy 60, which washes around 50-ish. Washes at 60, and is ideal for obviously bedding, towels, underwear, etc. Coloured cotton, also known as mixed cotton at 40 degrees on program 3. And then we've got synthetics at 50. Just to note that drying is available on all of these, including synthetics. Synthetics will run its own program at a lower heat. You can wash and dry a full load of synthetics, which is a half load of the capacity. So in this case, on the 7 kilogram machine, it's 3.5 kilo roughly. On the 6 kilo, it's around 3 kilo. And you can wash and dry all in one go, even on that. Also to note, 1400 to 600 options still available. But on synthetics, the final spin is actually limited to 800 RPM. So by doing so, you just simply reduce it from 800 to 600 RPM. That's all you do. That option. This option is available on a lot of these programs, and subsequently will always reduce the spin to 600 RPM, even if it's got a limited spin. And synthetics 50 as well. Obviously you can have 50, 40, 30 and cold. And notice how the time goes down with the temperature. But in all honesty, if you're losing the maximum temperature for that permitted cycle, just use it at 90 degrees because it will still limit it to like 40 or 50, whatever the setting is. Then we've got wool at 40 degrees. So when we turn the drying dial on this, it doesn't change time. That means it's unavailable. It doesn't beep at you though, to tell you it's not available, which is a bit odd. And also, subsequently on this machine, you do not get wool drying. On upper indesit and hot point models, there's actually special wool drying. Program 6 is silken curtains at 30 degrees. There's a beep there, which means obviously that option doesn't work, because when it does, it just excludes the final spin, which means it'll just do a drain only and that's it. 7 is jeans at 40 degrees. So drying is available in this. It will run as cottons high heat drying. Then we've got sport 30. So we've got sport intensive on program 8, sport light on program 9. The difference is that there is no pre-wash on sport light. 10 is for sport shoes. It's a special program allowing you to wash one pair of shoes. It runs very similarly to the wool cycle. Then we've got programs 11, which is cottons at high heat. And you just simply, if you select 0, it will just say 1 minute. If you press play, it will just do a drain only and that's it. And then you got synthetics as well. Let me just show you. So the maximum permitted is 3 hours on synthetics and it's 4 hours 10 on cottons. And then program 13 is a very special express wash and dry, which we're going to see in a minute in action on how it works. It allows you to wash 0.5 kilo of laundry. That is actually roughly either 2 t-shirts or 1 pair of jeans or something like that. It will wash it at 30 degrees, do a fast 1400 RPM spin, and then dry for 20 minutes roughly, or to iron dry roughly, before ending the cycle. Subsequently, I have found this to actually dry to cupboard dry in the past, depending what you're washing. We're going to demonstrate this in a minute with an item of clothing. Then you got rinses and spin. It'll do two cottons rinses and a final spin of cottons. spin only is a final cotton spin, so it will spin at the maximum speed of 1400 RPM. And then we've got drain only there, just to drain out any excess water that might be left behind, especially if you're using, say, silks and curtains, since it can just gather up at the end. It's also there if you wish to cancel the cycle and want to get your laundry out. Right, one other thing it's got is, on this model, it has a 24-hour delay start. And we're off. On this model of indesit washer dryer, we have an additional option. We've also only just got LEDs, but luckily we've still got the beeper on this, which is quite nice to have. We have something called intensive wash on this, available on some of the cottons and the synthetics programs, which will do an extra rinse and elongates the wash cycle, as well as increasing the wash water on some of the programs. This is a 1200 spin model, so we've still got that 1200 to 600 RPM spin, and it works in the same way. If you use synthetics, for example, it will reduce them from 800 to 600 RPM, etc. And the other thing is, we have a delay timer. It's here at the side. We have 3, 6 or 9 hour choices for the time delay. So, but other than that, we have the same programs and same drying options and same temperature options. And again, program 1 works in the same way, where white cotton 90, when it's set at 60 or 40, is still the standard EQ program. It's exactly the same. So, at the bottom, we have kick plates. However, this one is missing. But as we can see, once it's removed, there is a filter at the bottom which you can twist off and empty the filter. Right, so we're going to load up each machine with a grey t-shirt and a black t-shirt. The grey t-shirt on that's actually stained, so it'll be quite interesting. But this grey t-shirt isn't, and I don't think this black t-shirt isn't either. And they're both going to go in there. So we've got, this is the pre-wash, but you'll never use that. This is the main wash detergent compartment. So our powder goes in there. And this is for our fabric softener. I'm going to put a small drop in there. So we're going to select program 13. So we're going to select program 13. Interesting. Same program, different starts. Well, that took much longer to load. So if you're wondering why this one is much more noisier, that's because it's had new carbon brushes put in, and they are supposed to be wearing in slowly. Although it's already been on drying, it's already done a 3-hour wash program, it's already done quite a bit actually. drop from 17 minutes to 15 for drying. So, a washer dryer works by using water to flush out a condenser tank that's behind the machine. Because the way it works is that air gets fed through a heater, out through the front here, by the door seal, back through the back through those holes, and up through a condensing tank. So all the fluff and water gathers there. Water is directed from the back here through this condensing tank. However, this cheaper indesit doesn't have a water sprayer for its condensing tank. So periodically you will hear water going through here. However, you will hear periodically this also doing the same, but not through that. It will be directly through its actual pipe at the back. Oh, nice and toasty. Interesting. This one took longer. Ooh, that's steamy. It is hot and steamy. Look at that. Actually, that is drier as a t-shirt than that t-shirt. Interesting. And that's still damp. But what was interesting and more fascinating is this one took longer, but it did something that's rather impressive. On the final rinse there, you saw it kind of spin up like that, and what it's trying to do is force all the water to the top of the tub to clean it out from any excess residue from detergents, for example, or fluff that may have also built up around the seal and again the tub. It's also doing that because what it's actually trying to do is, like I said before, this machine doesn't have a jet that goes from here over to the condenser, and what it's doing is spinning up the water up there to try and clear it out. But actually, that's hopefully something that this could do with. It still needs a jet, I think, like this has. But I think they both need to do the same thing. You both need to still try and spin it up to try and get rid of any excess fluff or dirt, fluff that's built up within inside the tub as well. So, right, what am I going to give both of these out of 10? Weirdly, I'm going to give the... I'm actually going to give them both the same rating. 8 out of 10. For the different reasons. So, this all loses the point because it doesn't do that spin-up thing. And this one gains the point because it does. But that loses it because it hasn't got the digital display. Drying aside, these are damp, which is normal on the Express Wash and Dry. That is what it's designed to do. Well, I'm pretty sure if you just put one t-shirt in, you'll actually come out completely dry. But on normal drying modes, yeah, the drying times are longer on these indesits. If you have a top-of-the-range hot point, which is also made by indesit, drying times for cottons actually massively drops. Like, so, even for the larger loads. So the 9+6, for example, is only 3 hours, rather than 4 hours 10 for the 5 kilo models, like this, which is a bit unusual. So it loses a point there as well. But it does dry perfectly on the cupboard dry setting, and it also senses the loads sort of correctly. So a half load, 2.5 kilo load, takes around 2.5 hours, which is about right actually. And a full load will obviously take 4 hours. Cool. Oh, if you put small loads in, it'll take even less time than that. So, yeah, they're pretty good at sensing. Right, that's pretty cool. I actually enjoyed that as a weird review wash race. I hope you enjoyed this too. Don't forget to comment, press like, subscribe if you want more. There's a playlist for both reviews and for the wash races, and this should end up in both. So, cool. Go and watch them. I love wash races. So fascinating. See you again, guys. Bye for now.